which takes fucking 4, 5, 6 hours to get there. And I was not allowed to know any of that information. Only the boys were allowed to know.
Only the boys, huh?
Only the boys. So only Mackie, Darine, that's it.
The boys. You know, while I was in Africa, and excuse my French, getting my butt whooped with that daggone whoop.
Look,
like Tom Sawyer. Did you see? Are you familiar with Tom Sawyer?
Slightly, yes. The whitewash.
Okay, yeah, the whitewash thing. Okay, there's an actual cartoon. They show it all over the world. All over the world. They don't show it much in America anymore. But the bottom line is Tom Sawyer gets his butt whooped every single day at school.
Why?
Well, sometimes he defies the teacher, mainly for falling asleep. He falls asleep a lot in class.
That's what he did with that thing hanging out his mouth.
So listen. In the lyrics, one of the first things he says is that, listen, folks, my name is Tom Sawyer. I don't want to be no doctor or no lawyer. I'm like, right on.
Yeah, he did. That wasn't one in the beginning.
Anyway. But yeah, that's... Are you there?
All I'm saying is, you gotta hit Machado, you gotta hit MACD, and they'll fill in the gaps for you. They have no problem filling in the gaps.
Look, trust me, I'm hitting up so many places right now, Rule, if you just understand.
Did my mother ever tell you that you and Dadine are the closest looking to him?
Yeah, she has, Rule. She has, okay? But you gotta...
also sound like him, too.
No.
So when you record yourself and listen to yourself...
that's something you should be saying to your coworkers at work. Hey, listen, my brother, he sounds just like my father. Why don't you subscribe to his channel?
Nigga, my friends do not do social shit.
Well, they just subscribe and support. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. Rue, you gotta listen to the questions. This is a very important probing situation we have on our hands here.
Okay.
All right, let's follow the probe now, because the junta's promised. If we find this, then we're definitely going to uncover the entire thing. I mean, this is like the big piece of the puzzle. All right.
Okay.
So he had this big Quran that he was walking around with, and he used to use it and recite it often. What else did he do with it? I mean, okay, well, let's just say, for lack of better terms, he used it for a lot of different things, don't you? I mean, what would you say about that?
I don't. Remember, I only saw the man 3 times. And
Whoa. Yeah, you said that.
Mm-hmm. And the last time I spent time with him was the longest time I've ever spent with him. And I got an opportunity to observe him down on Olivera Street in downtown LA. And also watching his ass throw up so quickly. That was amazing to me. But the way he walked, his mannerism, what he was carrying, what he refused to put down, he refused to put that down. But I don't know what else he did, because once we left that car, man, I didn't want to be around him no more.
Okay. All right, Ru, just take it easy. How old were you at that time?
I want to say I was 20, 21. If that, 19, 20.
All right. Well, that's old enough to read a lot of things, which is pretty good. 2021. Okay. And prior to that, how old were you when you saw him the second time?
Oh, wait. The first time I saw my dad, I was 7, 8. And he was introducing me to Mackie. That's when I met his mother, our grandmother, Miss Little.
Right.
Miss Little had Alzheimer's at the time, but I didn't understand what Alzheimer's was. But I got to meet her that one and only time, and then she passed a little while after that. The second time I saw him, damn, did I only see this man twice? The second time I saw him, it was real quick and dirty. We went over to see Mackie again, and to see Miss Little again. Again, they sent it again. His mother. I don't know. His mother's coming to pick up that stupid sweater too.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, she just texted me. She at work. She coming to get the sweater. Yeah. That's the second check. It's the second check. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how we could do it. Because I don't know how to do it without having to give up an ID. I'm gonna let your face tell me that.
That's funny, Rue. Whatever that is, that's real funny. Well, apparently.
Never. This is stupid that it's come twice. That means they initiated it twice. God, man, I can't stand them.
Sure. And I kind of felt that would be the case because this is like the best we've ever been able to hold our sister on the phone.
It's $4,000. It's like almost
close to absolute best. She lives in California.
Yes, it's legit. They got 2 kids, so that's 2 dependents, $2,500 a piece. That's a legit check, trust me. Yeah, you tell me how we gonna do this, because I'm down. I'm telling you, I was trying to. I got the original one. I just shredded the original one. Oh, really? Because I didn't know. I was gonna say. Yeah, I shredded that one, and then because like
all right, Drew.
Well, what else for Tom? What else? I mean, other than that, I think maybe that when I saw him, he was leaving real quick, and I was kind of pissed off because I was thinking to myself, damn, it's your kids here to see you, and you just gonna bounce. But we were there to see Mackie, and, he was all doing his thing. The third time I saw him, I saw him twice in the same age, you know what I'm saying? I was living with my mom then. The third time I saw him, that's when I was 20-something. I was smoking weed. I was hanging out with my friends. I was older. And then we took that trip to Stockton to meet his brother, Alvin. I think it's Avery or Alvry. Can't remember his name. We went over there to see him, and he refused to call him Amir. He kept calling him by his government name. And he told him, stop calling me by my government name. That's not my name no more. I think he's gone. I only met him that one time. No, he came out and saw us again. His brother came out and saw us one more time.
Was he his older brother?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember him over the phone one time. He passed away.
Yeah. I think Mackie did say that he passed away. I gotta ask, like I told you, Mackie is the bearer of all secrets.
Yep. Nobody believes. Here's the problem right now. People underestimated him. I think he was just too underestimated. That's the whole problem right now.
I'm curious, why do you think that?
Well, I mean, this Quran is actually going to open it all up as much as I need, and this is probably the whole reason why I actually went and studied this thing, But interestingly enough, Rashid's past, he can't explain it. Falak is not even, he didn't really complete. Listen, no, I'm saying about the Pops' Quran, the point of him having it and what exactly he did with it. Yeah, that part.
I mean, the stories I heard is he was a master manipulator. Had nothing to do with underestimating him. He had everybody under him. He had a whole gang under him. He had about 6 or 7 people, plus he had an enforcer. I can't remember what my mom said his name was. Mustafa? Yeah, if he called Mustafa in the room, that was it.
An enforcer, huh?
Whatever Mustafa went to go take care of, it got done. That's what Mom said. You didn't have to worry about nothing. If Mustafa was going to go take care of it, that was it. If there was a problem, he was going to solve it. I talked to this woman.
That's interesting.
But you also have to remember, she went to jail for him. He skipped and ran. he said, you got one chance to come with me, Mashada. And she said, I'm not going to do this. What am I going to do with my kids? And he said that once I leave, that's it. And he bounced. Then he almost got his ass killed by a Jamaican who tried to cut off his dick in UK. He was in London.
Was he?
Funny enough, don't you have a kid in London, Fatah?
I do. Thank you very much.
And how is she?
She is well. Thank you very much for bringing that out.
How funny is that? You were in UK. He was in the UK.
You know, again, this whole Quran thing is bringing out a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to it this way, Rue. Yes, he was whomever everybody claims he was. But he was also, give it or not, either more or less than that. Period. There's no if ors about it.
It was more than that because the man can speak fluent Arabic. He apparently was the teacher. That's what he says. That he was a teacher in Egypt to the Sultan's son. He taught the Sultan's son English. That's what he tells me. Is what he told me. And he has all these credentials. You know, I'm like, what are these credentials exactly, Dad? Like, what are they?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I couldn't tell you what these damn credentials are. None of them made sense to me.
None of them made any sense to you, right?
No, but you know, I understood that he felt that this, whatever he was saying was real. You know, and I wasn't going to say nothing against that. Okay, you taught the Sultan's son. All right, taught the Sultan's son. What the hell does that mean now? He's sitting in here in Detroit in his beat down ass office.
Tell me about that, right?
Changing your name every year so you don't have to pay taxes. He never paid a tax in his life.
Is that right? All right. Rue, it seems like he, you know, you said he's a master manipulator. He had the Quran, and he never paid any taxes.
He was a womanizer.
He was a womanizer.
He was a, what is it, emasculating? When you don't have any respect or worth, a woman has no respect or worth for you. That's what he was. Like, it took almost 7 hours of arguing with this man for him to finally tell me that I was not allowed to be anywhere near his business, which was astrology. He predicted his death. Okay, so he did die on the table. Called me. He was a whole different man after that. He wanted to come see me. He was so sorry. He had never spent time with me after he passed away. Never heard the man talk like that. He left me a message. I was so upset when AT&T deleted that message. I would have stayed with AT&T to this day if I'd have had that.
Well, wait a minute. How did he predict his own death?
You know, he knew astrology, right? Like, he was an astrology master professor. And while he was doing his own chart, which he did religiously, he predicted the date and time that he would die. Now, you know, he only had one lung, right? Okay, so he had tuberculosis, so they had to take one lung. He got sick when he was around Raw at the time, and he got pneumonia. And he was starting to drown because he only had that one lung. Well, they rushed him to the hospital, and he flatlined on the table. You know, paddles came out. They brought him back to life. In his particular terms, he had finally predicted his death. Whether he was alive or dead, he technically was dead, so therefore he had predicted his death. What he didn't do was continue with his regiment of constantly charting himself. And he may have, if he was real, predicted the second death. But he stopped charting himself because he felt that he had reached the end, the pinnacleness of all astrology. I am the master of stars that I even know when I was going to die. And then when he was in the hospital room, he was doing what most old people do. They don't take their medicine. And they had been traveling for a long period of time. Dad wasn't young. And, he's sitting there watching boxing, throwing his fist in the middle of the air, because he loved boxing. And Raw told him he would be back if they needed to get something to eat. And when he came back, that's when he found them. So the point is that for him, it was predicted. No matter how you say it. I even told him, I'm like, you're alive, so you're not dead. No, I flat out.
Well, that's interesting. I was talking to my other sister today about those financial instruments, insurance series or whatever. If you want to look at doing something in the financial industry, go for your CPA. I don't know. But that's, I heard about the astrology part in the past. I just hadn't known how deeply he was involved in it,
Oh, when I say deep, when I saw him, okay, so time out. I saw him at least 4 times. Because we went to his office. And I'm going to tell you, I remember his office. If I could get in front of a sketch artist for that, I could draw everything I remember about him. His office was, I have never seen such cheap panel wood in my life. But it was stuffy as hell. And you know what he had on his desk?
What's that?
A picture of Dadine.
Okay.
All his children. And he had an 8x10 picture of Dadine on his desk. Now, I know damn good and well, my mom gave him a picture of me, too. He had Dadine on his desk. I'll never forget that. And when I saw that, I walked right out the door. I walked right, because I have no value. I had no value to him. I'm one of only 2 girls. Everybody else is a boy. So as far as